we start the way we start. Until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know I'll say that again. Well, folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting will always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao IV, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwamu Edumasa. We have no intention of leaving Ghana, a republic within the republic. And I know Dr. Vladimir will get me on that. And as conferred of me, Professor of National Development, I take him. Today, I hope to live up to my name. I said, as conferred on me, Professor of National Development, I hope to live up to my name today. Now, as you know, we perform this all-important ritual every Monday, and at the same time. So if this is your first time tuning in, make a date. And I can confidently say it's now one of the most balanced and developmental talk shows on radio in Ghana. Confidently. But thanks to you, and I'm so grateful, and I always say that, and I will keep saying that. Well, you know the rules for this hour, folks. You have to drop all your labels and come as Ghanaians. Just an hour. Difficult, but manageable. Now, once you have done that, let me welcome you to the ritual I call That's My Opinion. And our topic today is getting on the property ladder. Getting on the property ladder as a young, budding, new starter, just new graduate, fresh recruit, getting on the property ladder. Quite tricky show, so you have to pay attention. It will be in two parts. One, the problem we face, and two, some solutions that are preferred. I'll also have to try and explain myself very well. And so those of you at home, you may need a pen and a plain sheet of paper. You may need a pen and a plain sheet of paper. All right, so that when I get to describing what I want you to do, you can be writing on the paper and just sort of, you can visualize it. Especially if you want to get on the property ladder, you could do that. Also to the powers that be, folks, to the powers that be, those who sign their names with green pen or green inks. They should listen and see if they can implement what I'm about to propose. After all, folks, on this show, we always give free advice, and we're talking, nation-changing advice. So why not? And this is a very, very crucial situation that we face as a nation. Folks, the issue of housing cannot be dealt with without thinking of who we are building for, how many we have to build, and it won't be bad if we even consider how much they even earn if they can afford what we are building. I think I have to say that again, folks. The issue of housing cannot be dealt with without thinking of who we are building for and how many we have to build in the first place. And it won't be bad if we consider how much they even earn, if they can even afford what it is that we are building. Now, a good way to raise a generation from poverty so that they are not marked by $3 and $2, here for thinking a day as a sign of wealth, is to put them on the property ladder. A sure way of raising equity. Either you get on the property ladder or you go into the stock market, and the stock is a bit risky. The safest way to raise equity for a generation is to put them on the property ladder. Folks, currently we are 2 million houses upside down. Every year we are bringing forth into this dear country of ours 850,000 new babies. Every year. Yawukeke. On the average, in a year, 150,000 people go to their maker, which means we have a net increase of about 700,000 people every year. Net increase. who will also need houses to live in, compounding to our already existing 2 million now. Which means they also need houses, compounding. Now, as you know, whether you like it or not, we have a major skills deficit, huge income deficit, and a fast-growing population which is producing largely poor people, and now even angry. Not only are they poor, but very angry, quick to insult. And yet, we have to find a way to house them, or house as many as we can. In spite of all this, folks, we need to find a way to house as many as possible. Folks, let me repeat, for anyone vying for the Flagstaff House, anyone vying for presidency, who's not talking about effective management of Ghana's population, is not in for equity or true development. It's a fact. Anyone vying for the Flagstaff House or who's not talking about effective management of Ghana's population is not in for equity or development. You just want to be a good manager. Again, folks, I'm not saying 30 million is a problem, but the speed we are growing clearly shows that we can't cope. The solution is effective family planning, policy guidance all day long and twice on Sunday. All day long and twice on Sunday. Folks, there's not much as a cheap building in Ghana. So the term affordable housing can be very, very relative. Folks, in Ghana, we build as though our houses will be used for a bomb shelter in case of a war. From the foundation, which is overbuilt, concrete, iron rods, more concrete, more iron rods. By the time you roof the house, it won't be for the faint-hearted. And if you add the cost of land to it, nothing. Can buy the land from 3 people just to get your peace of mind. But with regards to our state affordable buildings, you can't just add building materials and the land. No, you will have to factor it, into it unexplained percentages. All these houses dotted around, these flats that the state has built. If they tell you the unit cost of it, you'll be amazed, thinking, was they built with gold dust? But hey, they are here with us. Folks, until we go back to building with laterite, clay, building with prefab materials, and utilize what we have, including the skies, folks, then I may have to propose this radical move until it happens. If it happens, this move today may not, strictly be necessary. But until then, that we are building very expensive bomb shelters, I think this is a good move. Folks, there are too many state affordable houses stuck in construction. Too many. All of which were built with loans, contracted in the name of Ghana, that we are paying for or we will pay for. Yet, we have no benefit of these houses, other than just some political taglines, I build this, I build that, but the thing is all empty. And in the same breath, we say we are 2 million houses short. How can you be 2 million houses short and have so many thousands of houses empty? But that's where we are. Folks, now it may get a bit confusing, so pay attention. Now, first of all, folks, we need to get the parliament to sit down and find a way to discount these houses heavily. They've already been overpriced with chobo. And, we have to discount it heavily. We have to cut some of our losses there. After all, it's better than them just sitting there until they are sold off to the rich, privileged, and politically connected. Meanwhile, we have young ones who desperately need to be on the property ladder. And if it's sold to the rich and famous, it will defeat the whole object of creating new wealth among the new generation. We have a bulging generation in the middle. According to a KPMG report, over 50% of the population is less than 24 years old. Folks, that is just a national security statistic on its own. You need to find a way to empower them, enrich them. Na chale abujo embraho. We must create wealth amongst this new generation that's coming. Now, currently, folks, the new police recruit will take home about 2,000, graduate nurse will probably 3,000, the new teacher 1,500. Now, at this stage, with regards to accommodation, there are mainly four things. You keep staying at home. If you're lucky, you get a state property to move in. Or the most popular one is rent on your own. And you can also buy a property. Nearly impossible, but it's available. Now, this is how we can get many of our new starters to get onto the property ladder. And I'm focusing on new starters, fresh graduates, fresh recruits, new teachers. That age group, that bracket, there's just so many of them. So if we don't create wealth in that bracket, by the time they get to 50 and 60, they will be desperate, and the nation, we would have a desperate nation. And I am saying, property, bricks and mortar is a safe way to create wealth. However, these guys are not earning a lot of money. So this is what I'm proposing. All this Saglime, Ajay, Kojo, and all these houses dotted around the world, I am encouraging the state to go heavily into these houses. As for how they will build it cheaper and everything, it will be another day. But I'm just saying that we should build a lot more of these things. Now let's assume, folks, that a unit, a housing unit, would cost, let's say, $30,000 for an affordable house. Now, $30,000, which would be about 160 Ghana cedis, is not affordable because you would then need a mortgage of 3,200 cedis a month to get a $30,000 mortgage. 3,000 Ghana cedis a month. That has probably wiped 40% of the nation out of this bracket. But they need to get into a house. They need to move away from home, and they need to build equity. If we were to go into a bank today to say, I'm going to buy a house, the bank would say, okay, good. Go and find me 20% of the value of the house you're going to buy, give to the vendor, and I would fund the 80%. So that's normal, right? Now, this is where I want you to draw a rectangle on your paper. So you draw a rectangle on your paper, and assuming the rectangle, write on it, house, HSC, house. Now you divide the rectangle into 3. Into each square, you write 50. So you have 3 50s in there, making the whole house 150,000 Ghana cedis. Now you don't have 3,000 cedis to buy the whole house and pay 3,000 cedi mortgage, out of which you need to go and even find 20% from God knows where. But you've just finished nursing, you've just passed out of the police, you've just come out of Legon, you've just gotten a job, and you need to get onto the ladder. So I am proposing between the state and the financial sector that as a young teacher should be able to go to a bank and say, you know something, I need a mortgage for just 50,000 Ghana cedis. He goes to, let's say, TDC and say, TDC, you know your flat in Ajay Kojo? I want to buy flat 1, but I'm only buying 50,000 Ghana cedis. So I am a joint owner. I own 1/3 of the house. You own 2/3 of the house. Now, for the 1/3 of the house, which you own, you've already got the money from the bank, so 50,000. So your mortgage then now is probably about 500-600 cedis a month. Affordable. You can do 500 cedis a month. But you don't own the 2/3 of the house. So you pay maybe another 600 cedis in rent to TDC because they are joint partners with you. So somebody will say, why would I want to do that? Yes, you want to do that because the alternative is go and find 2 years rent, give it to somebody, and they'll take the money and go away. But in this case, you don't need to come up with so much money, and yet still you own a third of a house. Assuming you bought the house today, so you buy a third, which is 50,000 cedis. You own a third of the house. Folks, in 10 years' time, that 50,000 cedis could probably double to be 100,000 Ghana. Just that 50,000 part that you own. As the value of the house goes up, you build equity into the house, right? If you're fortunate and you get a pay rise, you can come back to the bank and say, now increase my mortgage by another 30,000, go back to TDC and say, yep, now I want a bigger share of the house. So there, I'm giving you 30,000. So now I own 80,000 cedis of the house, which is literally like half. My mortgage then goes up to maybe 1,000 cedis a month, and my rent, which was 600 cedis, now drops to maybe 400 cedis a month because now I own more of the house. I'm renting less of the house. Again, as the value of the house goes up, your share goes up. What then happens is that when this new starter now meets a lovely lady, they have 2-3 kids, and now they want to move and go and buy, a bigger place, and they go to the bank, and the bank says, okay, good. Now you're looking to buy a house. Now this time your house is probably $200,000, and so come up with a deposit. They can go back and take the equity from their portion of the house that they were buying and come and then move onto the property ladder proper. I hope I've made myself clear. I hope you have all your questions ready, because this whole week I've been trying to explain myself to people and I've been getting questions. Now, one banker says, well, what happens if the tenant doesn't pay? What then happens? So I said, you don't have to worry, because at the moment we are 2 million houses upside down. Demand is outstripping supply. There will be thousands of graduates, teachers, nurses, police hanging in the background, waiting to buy a small portion of a house to build their equity. So if somebody doesn't pay today, trust me, tomorrow there will be 3 people waiting to take the house. I mean, people are queuing up to pay extortionate rent. So who won't queue up to pay 500 cedis or 600 cedis to own a house or a portion of the house? And if this 24-year age group folks, in the next 10, 20 years when they are 44 years old, I don't know where they're going to sleep or where they're going to buy houses. So the property market is going to be just absolute hideous. So we need to get them on there now. They don't have the money to buy the full house, so you buy just a portion of the house. You pay your mortgage to the bank for the portion you owe, and you pay rent to the portion you don't owe. And as you move along, and you build equity, by the time you are 40 and now you have a wife and kids and you need to move into a decent house with a big compound and everything, and the bank says, put 30% deposit down, say, no problem, I'm selling my flat at Sagleme or Ajekuju or whatever it is, sell it, take your equity out, put it down as a proper deposit. By then you'd have built yourself, maybe you're earning more, whatever it is, but now you will be in the midst play. This way, we can get a lot of the youth out of rent, into mortgages, build equity, and go. So I want to stop here so that the questions will flow and then we go. Because this is a wild, wild, wild policy. I hope you have your questions ready. For those who understand, you can add to it. For those who don't understand too, you can throw your questions in and then we all jaw. But this is a policy with which I believe that we must look into to try and encourage this absorb a lot of the young people into the property business, the property market, so that by the time they get to their 50s and 60s, they are not so dependent on the state because they have something behind them. get your questions ready. We are right back after these.
Belacqua so cool, refreshing the family, empowering life for a better day. Quenching your thirst, preserving society. Belacqua for us, Belacqua mineral water. Keep drinking, Belacqua. Keep drinking, Belacqua for us. Belacqua mineral water. Keep drinking, Belacqua. Keep drinking, Belacqua for us. Belacqua mineral water.
Belacqua, providing clean, refreshing water and contributing to making our environment safer with our recycling plants and lighter plastic initiatives. Belacqua mineral water for the greater good. This investment has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
The Joy Ballot Box is here again, placing the power in the hands of the citizenry.
We have been waiting for this particular time to come. I watched Joy Ballot Box in this seat like a debate to convince people as to why I should be voted for above my competitor.
Yeah, the Joy Ballot Box is to actually help the youth of Boku and people of Boku.
Find the ballot boxes in front of the Boku Mecom Yard, the Boku Municipal Assembly, the Barclays Bank, and in front of the Boku Hospital, and drop in the issues that will inform your voting decision this year. Join us for the live community interaction at the Boku Community Center from 5 to 7 p.m. on Friday, 23rd October, live on the Joy News Channel, Joy 99.7 FM, and myjoyonline.com. This event is strictly by invitation. The Joy Ballot Box is brought to you by your election headquarters and the Star Ghana Foundation with funding from UK Aid. The Joy Ballot Box on your election headquarters.
Business, like the world, evolves every day, from the tangible to the digital, from the farm to the stock market, from ideas to legacies. This is Business Connect.
Business Connect shows Mondays at 9 p.m. only on Joy Prime.
Joy Prime, real entertainment.
Joy 99.7 FM.
So 0302-216-541. I have a very interesting message here from Agbesi Prosper. Agbesi Prosper says, Nana, you don't talk sense on your program. Please stop talking. Oh, Agbesi. Agbesi Prosper. You don't talk sense on your program. Please stop talking. But I'm glad you tuned in anyway. I'm glad you tuned in to listen to my nonsense or whatever that thing is. 0302-216-541. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, that's very good. I like the challenge you thrown to us that we should ask questions. You are a chief.
Yes.
My questions are this. We need land to be able to build.
Yeah.
We don't even need any government to go and...
Are you there? I think your line dropped. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. 0302-216-541. Okay, so is it Farid?
Yes, Nana.
Farid, let me hear you.
Good evening, Nana. This is a very useful conversation to have this evening. So questions. My major question is, so yes, I understand that you could have that 50,000 mortgage payment, which would come down to 500-600 cedis monthly.
Yeah.
But then you have to pay rent of additional 600 cedis.
Yeah.
So that means in a month you are paying about 1,200.
Yeah.
Now for the average or the fresh starter, as you as you refer to, it will probably be cheaper to rent a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment for 2 years than go along with this project. I don't know what you think about that.
Well, admittedly, not every single one can get onto this program. But what I'm saying is that you can mop up a lot of people who otherwise would have rented, would go into this part-by-part rent scheme, and then you build equity. Because if you rent, you can rent for 100 years. All your landlord will do is keep increasing your rent and kick you out. But in this case, the house is yours. And because it's normally the other half belongs to the state becomes a weaker partner. So you can even go to them tomorrow and say, look, I'm earning more money now, I need to buy more of the house, and they can't refuse you.
Okay.
Yes. The whole idea is just to empower a generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because every year in Ghana today, by the next 5 years, your 50,000, kwata krabe is 60,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can at least walk away from that property with 10,000.
Sure. I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 0302-216-541. Kweku is in Bubuashi. Kweku.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Nana, I wanted to know is this proposal that you have put across, is it part of the mortgage system that we have here?
No, it's not. It's just a proposal I'm just putting. So that's why in the beginning I said, look, those who have ears, let them listen. I just feel that if as a state we can adopt it, it will help.
Yeah, because looking at it, it's the best way. It's the best way. And I believe, I don't know, if our leaders are listening and they really want every individual to own a piece of a house or a piece of place that we can lay our head. It's better because, trust me, we work for some not landlords who have inherited some houses and they just mess us up. No, we work for them. So if there's something like that, then at least if I'm paying 700 a month and I can do this thing that you were talking about, in the next 20 years, give or take, I'll own better thing than paying to them all these while.
I agree with you too. I agree with you too. You go in there, kakra. You see, as for property, once your foot is in the door as a part owner, you're home and dry. That's one major thing about bricks and mortar. That you get the key, say, look, part of this house is mine. You're home and dry. You know that as time goes on, you're building wealth. In Cantonment, Kweku is right there. Hello, Kweku.
Hi.
Yes,
good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good, Kweku.
Yes. The conversation you're having tonight is very, very interesting.
Okay.
And first and foremost, home ownership is not for everyone.
No.
It should not be impossible for people that want to own. So the formula that you're discussing on the radio is quite similar to others that they do in big town.
Okay.
So, for example, you would find people owning only a share of the property.
Exactly.
Say 20 people owning a percentage of a building with 20 apartments. What you're trying to talk about is trying to eliminate our biggest problem in this country, which is corruption. Once people are able to get on the property market and are able to generate equity in property and are able to secure pension, most of these problems that we talk about in this country every day will be eliminated. It's a fantastic idea you're discussing, and I hope the policymakers and implementers listen.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. John is in Medina. Hello, John.
Yeah, Nana. Yes. My question is very simple.
Sure.
You are a chief.
Sure.
You are the custodians of our land.
Sure.
Everybody born in a community is a native of that community. Well, how come that you people take all the land? That we don't get any parcel. Muammar Gaddafi, we are told, did a very good policy in Libya until he was killed. That everybody born has a parcel of land. So if I'm born, this land is for us. God made the land for human beings. You are a chief, custodian of the land. Why do you people take all the land? You don't make any avenue for the people, the natives, to get a parcel of the land. You have the chieftaincy councils or traditional
John, come to the Masa. I'll give you one plot. Come to the Masa. I'll give you one plot. Come to the Masa. I'll give you one plot.
Let me finish.
Come. Let your plot back. Today we are not doing land business. Today I'm talking about mortgage and how to get the youth on the market. What your bread, Masa? Let your plot back. Abai 0302-216-541. We just throw in. If you have followed this show, that's what we do. We just bring ideas to see, and this, I think, I think this is quite a wild one. But hey, it's worth it. It's worth it. Lukman is on the line. Hello, Lukman.
Hello, Nana.
Yes,
good
sir.
evening.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. It's a good idea and it's very simple. But I can tell you, Ghana, if government is going to implement it, the kind of bureaucracies that we practice in Ghana, they will appoint so many people, and those people that you will pass through, you have to pay them bribes. So at the end of the day, it becomes back to square zero. So that's the problem that we have. We have a bureaucracy. Government will appoint so many people to just handle one issue, and all those people, you have to give them bribes. So at the end of the day, the program becomes useless. Otherwise, it would have been a very good idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Wow, Nana, you are more. This is from Odote, New Odote. And then Mr. Agbesi, who see me can see Odote Krana, Ebo Mabaso. Mr. Agbesi, what are you talking about? 0302-216-541. Awudu is on the line. Hello, Awudu.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, listening to the program, I think the problem with the mortgage one is, first of all, we have to let the youth understand that the property is a ladder.
Yeah.
Because most of the youth, they go into property and then they want 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms from the start, and I think that is the problem. Because if you look at the property, if the youth are going into studio and 1 bedroom apartment to start with, and as the family grows, they increase the sizes of their bedrooms. That's fine. Research shows that we have done shows that we can build a studio apartment in Ghana for as low as $10,000 to $15,000.
Yeah.
Work it out into mortgage. It's only about 20 cedis per day. And that way you can get a lot of people on the property ladder to start with. But if we go in, want to buy one big plot of land, 100 by 80, and then put in 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom, and build, take 30 years or 40 years of our lives to build, I think that is not going to help. I think the youth must understand that they have to start somewhere. You can start right from the university, studio 1 bedroom apartment. Don't even go into 2 bedroom apartment.
No.
Then start from there. When you want to go into 2 bedroom apartment, mortgage the 1 bedroom or the studio you want as an equity, and move on to the property ladder. I think that way we can get more people on the property ladder than everybody go. Like most of the people are saying the land. It's not about land. I mean, the studio is about maximum about 70 square meters. That's about a quarter of a plot. That's all you need. I think that is the way forward. I mean, we have to rethink property and see it as a ladder, and not something that we go in straight with 4 or 5 bedroom house from the beginning. That is where the problem is.
Fantastic idea, so much. So that you see, like if let's say even you're a teacher in Accra, so that when you get posted to Kumasi and you get to Kumasi, you can buy in Kumasi. You don't even need to rent. You can just go to Kumasi and buy. Stay there. If you move to Sunyani, sell your Kumasi house and buy in Sunyani, like you said, it's a ladder. Because at every time you buy, after 2 years, you've made money on that house and then you move on. Not a fantastic idea. I'll be surprised our leaders who have traveled far and wide do not know this. The impediments, corruption, go home and come, paperwork, the bank and insurance companies that will make this difficult. These are the processes we follow here to acquire property in general out here. Not just houses, the bottlenecks and over-politicization of almost everything in Ghana is just too much. Rike in USA, but right here in Ashoman is Victor. Hello, Victor.
Hello, Nana. How are you?
I'm very good.
I'm very happy with the discussion you're having. I just want to chip in something to maybe ginger the discussion.
Okay.
Nana, housing is a business. That is one thing we always forget. People are investing in housing so they can make profit.
Yeah.
Now, because you think people are not getting accommodation, government should put in a policy to help them get accommodation. It's just like saying that you want to make food cheap or free. You see, you are then going to have to compete with these business people who are investing in mortgage. You know, people make profits and they don't know what to do with the profit. So they go about buying property. Now, are you saying that we should force them to sell those property at a very cheap rate so that you can build houses for people to live in close to their workplaces? Or you're saying government should go and acquire cheaper land somewhere and then build houses there like the one we've done in Tampram where nobody can live there because transporting yourself from Tampram to Accra every day is more like traveling from here to the UK.
Okay.
You see, it's a very good idea you are having, but what you're not looking at is this is supposed to compete with private people who are investing, and it's a very lucrative business that everybody would want to get into.
No, but
how do you compete with something that people are making profit out of, and people are prepared to pay? That is how come accommodation is too expensive right now.
Okay.
It's just that people are ready to pay for closer proximity to their workplace.
Okay.
But government cannot provide it free when people are competing already on it. If you do that, the same big people will buy all those buildings, and then the poor people you are crying for will not be able to afford it. If you go to East Legon or you go to Airport Square area, you would see nice apartments empty. Ask yourself, why are people not staying in them? It is because people who have money are prepared to buy those things and keep it as their property investment, not as accommodation. Okay. So maybe we should look at how do we dissociate people who want to invest in real estate from people who want to just get a place to sleep.
Okay, let me come in here. I'm talking about fresh starters, people who have just come from school, come from nursing. They can't go to Imperial Homes and say, I want a $600,000 house. No, that's a different market. But look, we have built Saglimbe, we have built Ajay Kojo, and there are thousands more in the bush which have been built with state money. So what I'm saying is that assuming one unit of that house is, I don't know what the price is, it's let's say 200,000 Ghana cedis for a unit, right?
Yes.
Now you don't have you can't raise a 200,000 cedi mortgage.
Yes.
So you raise a mortgage for let's say 50,000. Go and give it to Tema TDC and say I want flat 1. They say yes, okay, take the keys to flat 1. However, for the 150,000 which is not yours, every month you give TDC, let's say 700 cedis or 500 cedis, whatever the rent is, and then at the same time you give some money to at a bank where you got the mortgage from. So it would have been the same rent that you would have given to me to live in the house, and then I'll check you out. But this time, a quarter of the house is yours. So if the house moves from 200,000 to let's say 600,000, a quarter of that 600,000 is still yours. So in 10 years, 15 years time, you have equity to now also come onto the market. This is where you go to that East Legon places and now also go and buy a proper house. This time you are buying the whole house because you are coming with a deposit. But when you come from school, you don't have a deposit. All you have is a small wage. But
this is a perfect system in a socialist environment. Let me show you where your system is flawed. The system is flawed as soon as you assume that the house that is in Ajankojo would be waiting for the national service person to finish school.
No, it's a policy. You see, listen, if you had listened to the show from the beginning, I'm saying that half of Ghana's population is under 24 years.
Yes.
This is a bulging, it's a danger. I mean, half of 30 million people are over 24. So in the next 20 years, all these guys are going to be like 44 years old. What are they going to do? Where are they going to have money? So you have to push as many as possible onto the property ladder. But now they don't have money to buy in East Legon. Meanwhile, the state has houses in the bush, and the state also has capacity to get loans to build houses. It's not for free. It's only that you have a much more flexible paying term. Because with the state in Akojiaba, it's not me building and I want some 200, 300% on it. So it's like a deliberate policy to enrich the next generation. Because if this next generation come and are poor, we are dead.
Nana, I am an economist and have never believed in free or subsidized products.
It's not subsidized. It's not free.
If the state is going to borrow, reduce interest rates so that students who finish the university can buy.
Nobody is reducing interest rate, my brother. You are getting your mortgage from the bank. Only you are not getting 200,000 because usi kanunso. So you just get.
Who would insure that mortgage you are taking from the bank? Normally, if everything was as perfect as you are saying, you can just walk to a bank and get a mortgage without even government making a policy on it. The very moment you bring government in, somebody has to now bear the risk.
No, hold on. How can you walk in the bank and get a mortgage if, let's say, your pay is 2,000 or 3,000 cedis? How can you go to...
Now, it comes back to your same question. If government is not subsidizing, how would that student be able to get a mortgage in the first place?
Oh my God! I said you are not getting the 200 CD. You're not buying the whole house. You're only buying a percentage. So that that's also the economist. So as the house is appreciating in value.
I have built my own house.
Okay. Samson is on the line. Is it Samson? Hello, Samson.
Hello, Nana.
Yes, sir.
And I think you are already blessed. And when you phone the boom, baby say, so we now but put media, a boy, and Ketsia, the moon and so. Nana,
Thank you very much. That's my son Samson. Met him earlier today. 0302-216-541. My brother, I'm not saying you. At the moment, that's the problem we have. We don't have enough money to buy the houses going on the market. Yinibi. But we need a house. Some of the houses are empty in the bush. So I'm saying you just buy. This policy I'm saying doesn't exist. And it's a deliberate policy to enrich the next generation. I'm not even saying it to happen. We are just enjoying it for now. So you only buy a quarter of the house or maybe a third of the house, right? Why wouldn't you get insurance for it? If you can get insurance for the whole house, why can't you get insurance for your mortgage? Of course you can. Of course you can. And, I was speaking to a banker who said that, oh, listen, Nana, I'm scared of the risk element. Just in case Abeku buys this house and Abeku doesn't pay, what do we do? And I said, listen, I even said there's 2 million houses upside down. Apparently, it's 5.7 million. According to Grader, it's 5.7 million upside down, which is probably right because about 7 years ago, we were told it was 1.7. And we're not building any houses. 5.7 million is about right. So the demand will outstrip, which means even if the policy came, bankers should not be scared to go into it. There's a queue. There's a queue. I mean, what police recruit, what teacher recruit, what nursing recruit won't want to take advantage of it. Even my son, so if he can use that rent into a little studio flat, as my friend said, own half of the studio flat, but the studio flat that he bought probably 80,000 cedis is probably now 120, 160 or 180,000 cedis, and half of that is for him. So half of that is for him. So that's what I am saying. I know it's a bit complicated. I know it's a bit wild, but that's why it's my opinion. Why are you stressing? The man disagrees with you. Why are you so upbeat as if your existence depends on it? He disagrees. Fine. He should go. That's the beauty of my opinion. Great ideas you are propounding, but as far as the housing market is concerned, or getting on the housing ladder will be difficult without cheap money. Insurance, endowment, mortgage is the way to go, but requires a lot of engineering because we don't have insurance culture in Ghana. We must get the insurance sector working and make it pervasive and endemic. That will facilitate endowment, mortgage, as long as you have a secure job. Can't explain the insurance endowment mortgage here due to lack of time. So the insurance endowment thing is, let's say if you buy the house, right, and like your monthly payment is, let's say, 500, you get an insurance on that 500, so you pay a little money to that insurance too, so that at the end of your mortgage, if there's a balance to be paid, the insurance will come and clear it for you, something like that. A starter on the housing market only requires a studio apartment to start with. Shouldn't cost more than 10,000 Ghana cedis. Nana Ansah Kwao. Okay, let me read it again. Haba, why are you stressing? The man disagrees with you. Why are you so upbeat as if your existence depends on it? He disagrees. Fine, he should go. But why? Oheneyere awodaso. Oheneyere Gifty, my external producer. Thank you very much. Well, folks, next Monday we'll be back with a different opinion, as we have done for the last probably 7 years, A big thank you to Eraston Balloons and Accessories. Gave us a wonderful surprise on the 15th, which was our 5th anniversary. Nice, wonderful surprise balloons and foods and everything. Made it nice. And say thank you to my wife for still marrying me after 5 years. Hard work. But folks, you know what I say, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. We'll be back here on Monday.